Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I am drawing Black Cat D.va from Overwatch, and this skin I believe came out like a couple months ago and I really liked the design of it, so I just wanted to do a quick sketch of it, and then I decided that I was just gonna go ahead and do a whole drawing of it. So I went ahead and started with a thumbnail sketch for this drawing. I don't normally make thumbnail sketches with my drawings. This is actually probably one of the very first ones I've done. It's just not something I've really gotten used to doing. I've tried it a couple of times, but normally I just prefer to sketch and then see where it goes from there. But I do think thumbnail sketches are important and that I should probably start working on them a lot more. Especially for like full-bodied poses. I'm not super good with them, so having like a thumbnail sketch beforehand is, or at least has been, really helpful for me. So right now I'm using my Prismacolor Color Erase pencils for sketching out this drawing, and here you can see that I was like having a ton of trouble drawing her feet and her shoes. I don't know why, but I just like couldn't get it down how it should look. And so I probably erased them like 4 times trying to get them to a way that I like them. Also with her hair, she has like little bows in her hair, and I could not figure out how they should lay in her hair. So I end up like erasing it a ton of times trying to figure out how it should look, and I think I eventually get it to a point where I think it looks good. So this drawing did definitely put a lot of things in my path that I'm not really comfortable drawing. Like I did a full body pose, which I'm not super confident in drawing, and I don't normally draw like bows and frilly dresses, and so I ended up sitting here sketching all of that stuff, and it really did take a long time to do the sketch phase. So right now I am using my light box to have my sketch shown through so that I can do the line art for my watercolor piece, and I just taped the piece of paper that I'm doing the line art on to my light box. That way it wouldn't like move around a whole bunch. And then I just used like a container of Mod Podge on my sketchbook to like try to hold down my sketchbook so that didn't move around a lot. I don't really like the way that I did this. For a piece I do for my next video, I believe, I just ripped the page out of my sketchbook and then I used it to just do the line art like that, and then I just taped it right back into my sketchbook because I just don't want to have loose papers in my sketchbook, and I don't want to lose it either. I want to know when I drew the piece, and in my sketchbooks I usually have the date written down on them. I date when it started and when I finished the sketchbook. So right now I am just doing the line art for this piece and I'm still using my Prismacolor Color Erase for the line art for this piece. I also believe that I use inking at the end when I'm done the watercolors to just sort of like brighten up the line art, and the Prismacolor Color Erase does tend to fade quite a bit after you add watercolor on it, so I just wanted that extra oomph to the line art. So at the end I do go through with I think it's like a micron pen or whatever, and just line art with that. So now I'm using my Winsor & Newton watercolor pan set, and then my Kuretake watercolors as well to do the watercolors of this piece. I really like the way that this one turned out. I don't normally draw and paint blondes with watercolor, so it was a little bit of a struggle to get like the correct tone to her hair, since with this skin in Overwatch she is blonde, so it was difficult for me to do that. But I do think after this piece I become more comfortable painting blondes with watercolors. I also tried like some new techniques with the skin. I'm trying to make it so that it tends to have like an edge to it with my pieces, so I'm trying to try new techniques so it doesn't leave like that harsh edging to the watercolor when it dries. Here you can also see that I added her cat ears in. I completely forgot to add her cat ears into the sketch, the thumbnail sketch, the sketch, and when I was done the liner, and then I guess I just looked at the reference again and I was like, how did I forget her cat ears? And then when I finished the piece I was like, wait, does she have a cat tail too? So I had to look back through references to make sure that I didn't forget like a cat tail as well, but she doesn't have a tail in this skin, so I'm glad that I didn't also forget that. But yeah, I ended up just erasing some of the Prismacolor and then going through and just freehanding the ears, and then I used the watercolor paints on top of it, and then when I used the paints on it, it pretty much covered up the previous watercolor, or the previous Prismacolor lines that I had for like her hair and the bows in her hair that were there previously. So yeah, that was funny, and I can't believe I actually forgot that. Yeah, I also used green painter's tape for this as well. I'm not sure if I really like using it. I tend to use this because I just have it. I heard that you can get like artist tape for watercolors, but I haven't like seen it anywhere at like Michael's or anything. I haven't looked on Amazon yet, but I'll probably do that when I'm close to running out of the painter's tape. But to try to make it so it doesn't tear the paper when I peel it off, I just take the tape and then like stick it to my pant leg so it gets like clothing fibers on it so it's not as sticky, and then it doesn't tend to rip away the paper with the tape as much. It does still a little do it, but it's definitely not as bad as what it was. Oh yeah, also my only complaint with the two watercolor sets I have is the black is just like a pretty dark gray. It doesn't get to like that pure black that I want, so I'm gonna have to eventually get like I guess maybe another watercolor palette or like just a pan itself. I'm debating on getting like one of those watercolor sets that you like make yourself, because I way prefer the pans than like the tubes. So I don't know, maybe I'll do that and do like a video on making my own watercolor pan set in the future. Let me know if you would like to watch that video down below in the comment section, because if like a lot of people want to see something like that, then yeah, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, I definitely need to at the very least pick up a black that is actually black and not just like a dark gray. I don't think you can tell it that badly in this piece, but some pieces it's just it's like I want it black and it's like a dark gray. Yeah, so right now you can see that her eyes did sort of bleed outside the lines here, and I didn't notice for a really long time that it did this, and I'm surprised that when I noticed and picked it up, it didn't like stain it super badly. Yeah, I don't really know what happened there. I think it's the brushes I'm using here, because I'm not sure if they're supposed to be watercolor brushes, because I think they are like all-purpose brushes, but they just tend to hold a ton of water. So when I went to put down the eye color, it probably just had way too much water in it, because these brushes just hold a ton of water. So it just ended up bleeding later on. Okay, so here you can see that I am using the Sakura microns that I said that I would be using earlier. For this piece I used just the plain black ones to do the outlines. I figured the black would probably be the best because most of her outfit is either like black or a dark gray color. So I went ahead and did that for the line art. This is actually like the first time in a while that I've used these, and using it on this piece made me realize how much I really like these and that I should use them more. So I actually went out and bought like a set of 8, I believe, that are like the colored versions of these, and I tend to use like the purple a lot in that one, and I think the pink as well. So yeah, I really like these. I'm glad that I picked it up to use for this piece of art. And right now I am using the Winsor & Newton masking fluid for the sort of diamond pieces I did it for the background. I went with diamonds because I figured that her stockings have like this diamond pattern, so I wanted the pink diamonds to be in the background. I definitely did not like the combination of the Winsor & Newton masking fluid with these diamonds. I definitely think I should have just painted the diamonds and not had like the border of the masking fluid around them, because later on, as you see, I peeled them up and then they are very misshapen and I have to go over it again anyway to fix it. So I definitely learned for stuff like this I think was my first time using masking fluid, so I definitely learned with this piece that I did not enjoy using it for shapes like diamonds. So from now on I'm not going to use it for stuff like this. Also with this masking fluid, it peeled up very badly. Like it peeled up in tiny pieces rather than just like in one strip. I don't know if I just didn't layer it thick enough for it to peel up more evenly, or if it's just the masking fluid, since when I bought it, I'm not sure if it was just like on the shelf for a long time or what, but when I bought it and I brought it home, I pretty much immediately opened it. It might have been like a couple of days since I bought it, but I opened it to use it for this piece, and like the top layer of the masking fluid was all hard. So, and I had to like take it out to actually use it. There's like, I lost a good chunk of masking fluid that was just hard. So I don't know if that's the fault of the masking fluid or the store that I got it from just had it on the shelf for a long time, and so the fact that it's peeling up the way it is because that it was on like the shelf for a long time. But later on I did tend to have better results with it. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the end of this video. If you like what you saw, then please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next Sunday for next week's video. Thanks so much for watching.